Hey guys, Joey here from Class J Video Productions. I'm just here to make just a quick video here, and I apologize that I'm not looking my best, but anyway, there you have it. As some of you probably know, some of y'all probably don't know, but for those of you who don't know, I am planning on going to 2160p 4K video soon. Next year, hopefully, in fact. There were two cameras that I had narrowed it down to that I might want, and those were the Sony CyberShot RX10 Mark II and the Panasonic Lumix DMC G7. Now, the Sony has more megapixels. Actually, first, before I get to that, I know y'all are probably thinking, well, you don't have anything to play 4K on, so why do you want to spend the money? So, this is why. I have been using 1080p since December 2011. 1080p is still a very beautiful picture, but compared to 4K, it's very kind of, I guess outdated would be the word. And I also want to be the first rail fan in Tyler, Virginia to shoot in 4K. Now I'll go ahead and go over the different specs of the Sony versus the Panasonic. The Sony is 20 megapixels, 20.2 actually to be exact, and actually that would be an upgrade from my HX9V, which is 16.2 megapixels. In fact, actually, I have my HX9V right over here. Hold on a minute. This little guy right here that I got for Christmas in 2011. It's 16.2 megapixels. But I figure I'm not going to be using the new camera for stills, so I really don't need an upgrade. I mean, if I were going to take like really high quality professional style stills and was going to, blow it up real big in like a frame or something, that'd be one thing. But my main purpose is going to be for 4K video, so I think, just the 16 megapixels on the Panasonic G7 would suit me just fine. And it has a 4K video or 4K photo mode too, so that would probably be a little sharper anyway. So, also the Sony is very expensive. It's $1,298, so almost $1,300, which is a lot of money. And half price, if it went half price at Best Buy, most of the stuff at Best Buy goes half price before the new models come out. Half price, that would still be $650, which is a lot. Now, one thing I noticed, I know that YouTube has the H.264 VP9 codec, which pretty much is really sucks for anything super high res. And also my laptop screen only being 1080. One thing I noticed with the Sony is there was a bit of distortion in the video samples that I really didn't care for. I'm not talking like the little pixelated blocks with moving objects. I'm just talking about it didn't look quite as clear as it should have been for 4K. It was still a very nice picture, but for my videos and knowing how picky I am about video quality, I don't think the Sony is the right choice for me. So in conclusion, I'm probably going to go for the Panasonic Lumix DMC G7 unless one of the camera manufacturers releases something at the last minute that I think is better. But right now, as far as cameras are concerned, I haven't seen anything really that beats the Panasonic G7, so that's what I'm going to end up doing. There's a YouTube user on YouTube that I recently subscribed to that has one, and he said battery life is about 90 minutes when shooting in 4K, which is pretty decent. That's with the Panasonic battery. I'm probably going to buy some either Wasabi Power or probably DSTE batteries aftermarket, and they're between I think 1300 and 1700 milliamp hours, as opposed to the stock battery, which is 1200. So anyway, but I watched some video samples of the G7. I was very impressed. The 14 to 42 millimeter lens had a little bit of those pixelated blocks with fast moving objects. I did not see that as much with the 12 to 35 millimeter lens. That's one thing I actually excuse me, forgot to mention, is that the Sony RX10 is a the Sony RX10 II, pardon me, is a fixed lens camera. The Sony's a fixed lens camera. The Panasonic, however, is a mirrorless micro 4/3 interchangeable lens camera, which I have never used before. So that would take a little bit of getting used to, but I think I could do it. But anyway, so I mean, it would be a pain, and neither one of the cameras are pocket size like this. I mean, this kind of camera here, I could, fit in my pocket, not a problem. The Sony RX10 II and the Panasonic G7 are not pocket size cameras. Sony also has another model called the RX100 Mark IV. It's the 4th generation of the RX100 series. But I looked at the video quality of it, and again, I wasn't too impressed. Like I said, it was a very nice picture, but for 4K, I think it should be a lot sharper than it was. And I could get it for $474 half price, because the RX100 Mark IV right now is retailing for about $948 to $950. So, but anyway, again, I wasn't too impressed with the quality. Panasonic, believe it or not, is actually ahead of Sony in many ways. Sensor size, video quality, and stuff like that. Now, one thing to actually bear in mind is I never have used a recent Panasonic camera. I have used my grandfather's VHS-C camcorder in the past, but that didn't have an LCD screen. It just had the viewfinder, and that was it. It didn't have like a menu interface or anything like that. It had a record button and a viewfinder and a tape mechanism, and that was about it. So I am used to Sony's menu interface. I have never used Panasonic's menu interface before, so that will definitely take some getting used to, but I think I could probably do it. And one thing I like about the Panasonic is, see, my Sony is just a stationary LCD. It doesn't do anything. It's just flush against the camera, as you can clearly see. And it's all jacked up because I left it in sunlight one time, and it's all, kind of almost melted, and it's just a mess. It still works, but I mean, it goes kind of dark every once in a while, and it's hard to see what you're going through. And also, I think this might have been due to the being in sunlight too. For some reason, when you're going through the menu, it kind of jumps. The functions jump around the whole line. It's just very, very weird and very hard to deal with. But anyway, like I said, never used Panasonic's interface before, but I think I'll catch on to it just fine. And of course, there's a user manual for it, so that won't be a problem. There's a user's manual for the camera, so excuse me. Anyway, so in conclusion, I'm thinking about going for the Panasonic G7. I'm hoping to shoot in 4K sometime between March and May of 2016. I probably will still keep this 1080 camera as backup in case something happens, but as far as I can tell, the G7 is going to be my main camera when I go to 4K. Another thing to bear in mind also is that regular memory cards like this cannot be used in a 4K camera. 32 gigabytes would maybe give me about probably 15 minutes of video because the files are so big. This is a SanDisk Ultra 32 gig Class 10. That will not work in 4K cameras. I will have to upgrade to a UHS 3 memory card, and the 64 gig ones, if I wanted to have an hour and 20 minutes of video, I'd have to buy at least a 64 gig, because the picture quality is about twice 1080, so it's a whole lot. And 1080p is about anywhere from about 17, high quality 1080p is anywhere from about 17 megabits per second to 28 megabits per second, sometimes up to about 35 or even 50. 50 is like really high-end 1080p, but most 1080p is like 28 megabits per second. 4K, low-end 4K, MP4 4K is 100 megabits per second. So it's going to take me probably a little bit longer to upload my videos than if I had, say, 1080p. And I would have to delete the files off of my laptop, because 4K 100 megabits per second would definitely eat up my disk space on my laptop. So once it goes to YouTube, it's got to go from my hard drive. Plain and simple. It's got to go. But anyway, in short, that's what I plan to do. I'll probably get 2 or 3 64 gig memory cards, or a couple of 128 gig memory cards. It will set me back quite a bit of money, because 4K files are huge and they require very high-end memory cards. Like I said, UHS 3. If I wanted to get up to 5 hours of memory on my memory card, I would have to go for a 256 gig memory card, which I don't know if the Panasonic G7 actually supports gigabytes that high. I will have to look into that. But 256 gigabyte memory cards are like 150, 200 bucks, which is a lot. I mean, for a piece of plastic, give me a break. Seriously, that's a lot. But anyway, in short, that's what I plan to do. I plan to get a Panasonic G7 to shoot 4K with, hopefully by spring of 2016. That's the plan. So we'll have to see how things go. If the money's right, that's what I plan to do. So if anybody has some questions or comments about me going to 4K, that's cool. But I am planning on going to 4K. I know I don't have anything to play 4K on and see true 4K, but it's my money and it's my decision, so I do ask that you please respect it. But anyway, so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm hoping to maybe have Collier be the first place for me to shoot 4K, but we'll have to see. Sorry, yelling a lot today. Anyway, but that's what I plan to do, and if the money's right, I will go to Collier for the next for the first trip shooting in 4K. Also, if it's not storming too bad, I'm planning on going rail fanning tomorrow, which is Wednesday, and I'm not going to say where I'm going, but I am going rail fanning, and so you can expect some more train videos very soon. And anyway, I just want to thank everybody for their time, and that's it. That's all I got. So have a great day, stay safe at the tracks, and I'll see you next time. Bye.